Welcome everyone to our final part 4 of talking about the reveals for Star Wars Unlimited's 5th set, Legends of the Force. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute, but we still have all of June and a few days in July before we officially have pre-releases and the official release date of Legends of the Force. And you are correct. Now, the reason for that, I'm going to be going down to Japan with my family for a family vacation from the 16th of June to July 3rd. So I really can't record more of these videos because I won't have my equipment with me. So this will be our last discussion videos for Legends of the Force, because when I get back, it'll be time for pre-release events for Legends of the Force and playing Legends of the Force. Now, no worries for content. If you're concerned about how content's going to be done for the channel, keep an eye on the community tab. There will be a post there about how content's going to be coming out for the channel. So originally when I was planning this video, there wasn't all of this resorting and stuff like that for cards. So it looks like we have now resorted up some cards throughout the game. We have more of the core now completed. So we're going to go through a lot of the newer cards we haven't seen from videos 1, 2, and 3. So the first thing I did learn is that these are leader mechanics here. When it's on this side, that's the leader. I didn't realize that for 𝐒𝐓𝐀𝐾 and the Grand Inquisitor. So we'll just talk really quickly about their front side. 𝐒𝐓𝐾� to awaken has a very unique ability. So it's resources plus how many times you have used the Force that round. And then her ability is to tap her to create a Force token. Neat, but I'm not too sure how we can manipulate that. I know green can ramp, but still, a little bit of a strange way, but still, I kind of actually like the effect. It's a very unique, trying out effect. And the Grand Inquisitor is tap him, use the Force, and then give something minus, I believe it's -2, it's -2, -0, and if 5 or more, flip them over. So, not too impressed with the Grand Inquisitor. So let's start it out. We got Kylo Ren. We got Kylo Ren on Ilum, or Starkiller base. So tap discard a card from your hand, basically kind of does what the red one did with the discarding, but if you discard and upgrade this way, draw a card. So his whole aspect here is instead of his red one where he would discard any cards to give a buff to something, instead he's more or less discarding upgrades to draw cards, and it's 7 more resources to deploy this leader. And then when deployed, play any number of upgrades from your discard pile onto this unit. So one at a time, paying their cost. So basically, you pitch a bunch of upgrades, you need a bunch of power, you flip him over, you just stack a bunch of things onto him, and he's a massive sentinel that's swinging for something. So I think it's neat for an upgrade, discard strategy, but I don't know if it's going to be that much viable. Still, a very neat Kylo Ren. Kind of maybe need green to ramp up that 7, but I don't know, maybe you want to go a little slower so you can activate his effects so you can constantly pitch upgrades, like lightsabers and all that. We got Ahsoka Tano. Action, use the Force, give a unit sentinel for the phase. So basically, she's kind of like what Chewbacca does from Spark of Rebellion, but Chewbacca brings them out onto the board, and then gives them sentinel. She just gives something on the board sentinel. 6 or more, you can deploy her, and then on attack, you may give a friendly unit sentinel for this phase. So she kind of gives a much a little better. I don't know what Chewbacca's on attack, or Chewbacca's awakened skill was. I know on his unawakened was that he is capable of spilling out guys that are certain cost and give him the sentinel. But yeah, nonetheless, a pretty unique leader. I think being very defensive is pretty unique, but I'm not so sold on her ability at all. We have Morgan Elsbeth. Action, choose a friendly unit that attacked this phase. You may play a unit with your hand that shares a keyword with the chosen unit that costs 1 less. I actually like this a lot because keywords are becoming so much important with ambush, hidden, all those different keywords, ambush, hidden, raid. This is all becoming really powerful. So having the ability to reduce the cost of someone you attacked with can be really, really unique. She flips over on 5, and then on attack, the next unit you play costs 1 less. If you share the keyword with a friendly unit. So again, a really cool way to reduce the cost of keyword cards as long as you're playing a keyword strategy. Kind of like what Boba Fett from Shadows of the Galaxy does, the Cunning Heroic one, that allows you to basically buff up your keywords. So you're playing a lot of keyword-based strategy, so basically mostly ambush. So there could be some very interesting things you could do with all of this keyword stuff here. So I'm actually kind of wanting to try that out. I'm not exactly sold on him being good, but still, I think it's a pretty unique leader to give a try because of manipulating down cost of specific keywords, especially raid. With the new raid legendary, the one that doubles all your raids on the board, I think that could be actually a good thing. It's Supreme Leader Snoke. We finally got Snoke as a leader. So anyway, action, tap 1, give an experience token to a unit with the most power among friendly villain units. Now, he kind of is doing the exact same thing that Tarkin does, but Tarkin only does it for Imperial units. He does it for everything that's villainy, but it's only the most power among the highest friendly villainy unit. 6 or more reasons you flip him over. By the way, he's in nice robes. He's ready to get his playboys out. This was always such a stupid scene. Where's the lightsaber to cut him in half too? Anyways, give an experience token to you with the most power among friendly ability units. Again, just kind of Tarkin here. Again, Tarkin does the exact same thing on his awakened side to give experience tokens to Imperial units. He just gives it to the highest power among villainy units. So neat. Overall. It could be a very useful thing, because again, Tarkin's restrictive to Imperial units. He's restrictive against the most power among friendly villainy units. So I think there are ways you could easily manipulate the power of your villainy stuff to make it happen. Yeah, I think there's a lot of really good things that he could probably manipulate to happen. So I want to try out this leader. I think that'd be pretty cool. Again, the only other leader that does kind of this thing of giving experience tokens on the front and the back side to things is literally Tarkin, on like tapping him and then doing it, and then on attack doing it. So yeah, I'll try it out. Again, I'm not really sold. I mean, there's the leader wise, there aren't like all that great many leaders in this set. Like Hayden Jers is pretty good. I think Morgan Elsbeth, Arba Karis, I think we're going to play around with. Darth Maul, though I think the other Maul is a little better. But yeah, I know like a lot of people are going to play Revan, Qui-Gon Jinn. But yeah, from the rest of that, we do have Rey. We have another Rey leader. Again, we have Heroic. We have Vigilance, Heroic, Rey. Again, that's Rey just learning the Force. And now we have Action. If you played a non-Force unit this phase, do 1 damage to a unit. I do actually really like that. And then when deployed, you may discard your hand. If you do, draw 2 cards. What happens if I don't have a hand? Do I just get to draw? I guess I just get to draw 2 cards. Oh, it's you may discard. Oh, you may discard your hand if you do draw 2 cards. So I guess you'd have to draw. I guess you'd have to discard your hand and then draw. So if you didn't have a hand or you only had 1 card, I guess 2 cards is better than 1 card. No, I'm not sold on this leader at all. If she was like discard a card from your hand and then draw 2 cards, maybe, but I'm definitely not sold on this leader at all. I mean, I like the front facing side of tapping if you played a non-force unit this phase, deal 1 damage to a unit. I like that. I just don't like this when deployed ability. This is just it's not a very strong when deployed. So if I put 4 cards in my hand, a deployer, I want to discard to draw 2. I get why maybe if I didn't have like a hand. So the big question is if FAQs are going to state you may discard your hand. If you don't have a hand to discard, do you then get the draw 2? I would assume no, because you didn't meet the first condition. But it may, if you had 1 card and you want to discard to draw 2 fresh ones, sure. But I mean, I'm not sold on Rey at all. I like the front side of Rey, but other than that, it's not good. We got Barriss Offee. Action, use the Force, play an event from your hand. It costs 1 less. Again, really nice. There's a lot of really good events in, of course, Cunning Villainy. There's also, of course, if you play her in double, you can then play, of course, 1 reduced cost for Cunning, the double Cunning aspected card. So that's pretty nice. And again, you do have, like, of course, then you also have No Good to Me Dead and Frozen in Carbonite. And then action, use the Force, you may play an event for your hand, it costs 1 less. Okay, so it's not too bad. She's just kind of able to manipulate all of your events out of your hand at cheaper costs with the expense of your Force. So, Not a bad leader. Not a bad leader at all. Anyways, 𝐂𝐏𝐾𝐒. A lot of people were talking that 𝐂𝐏𝐾𝐒 would just be heroic unit, but nonetheless, it doesn't matter. We did get 𝐂𝐏𝐾𝐒. I mean, we've seen a lot of the cards. We know his droids in the game. So, I mean, let's be honest. We all knew 𝐂𝐏𝐾𝐒 was coming at some point. So, use the Force. Tap him, use the Force, and opponent chooses a ready unit they control and exhaust that unit. Congratulations, everybody. We got more ways to exhaust everything on your opponent's board state. And then flip him over on 4 or less, so he's one of those leaders that could come up pretty fast into the game. Opponent chooses a ready unit they control and exhaust that unit. So basically, he's going to be a nuisance leader that I really like because he's all about control. It's going to be swing and attack, and then he's a lot better on his awakened side because he doesn't need to exhaust the Force to basically be able to exhaust your enemy's units. So if your enemy only has, or your opponent only has one unit up, you can go 𝐂𝐏𝐾𝐒 to attack, rest that unit, and then your opponent has to constantly play out all their units in rest mode. Now, again, I think in the strategy with doing 𝐂𝐏𝐾𝐒 is you need to have cards to go bash into your opponent's stuff, so that way you can control their board state, unless they're using the hidden keyword, to control out your opponent's board state so that they don't just make a bunch of bodies all over the place, and then they only have maybe 1 or 2 cards that when 𝐂𝐾𝐾 swings, they have to just choose one of those to rest. And again, Cunning has a lot of ways to rest opponent's cards, so I like it. I really do kind of like this 𝐂𝐾𝐾 leader. It's a pretty nice one. Of course, we already talked about Qui-Gon Jinn, probably the most played Cunning heroic leader, probably wouldn't set 5 drops. We talked about Revan. Now we have Luke Skywalker. Of course, Revan, it makes sense that we've had Revan with 1 color, that we probably get a 1-colored leader as well, Revan being villainy, so Anakin Skywalker will be heroic in this one, again, being the fact that he does fall to the side of the dark side. Okay, so he's going to be a very interesting leader here. Action, use the Force, play a villainy non-unit card from your hand, ignoring its aspect penalties. Okay, so you can't play units with him, but you can play... So he's going to allow you to play all of... Depending on what your base is, you're going to be able to play... Because I could already see, like, using Cunning, so that you can then use, like, Frozen and Carbonite. And you can use, No Good to Me Dead. You can use those type of cards. So basically, you're able to use event cards that are in the villainy aspect with him, because you could just burn the Force to ignore the aspect penalty. And then on his backside, action, use the Force, you may play a villainy non-unit card for your hand, ignore his aspect penalties. Okay, I'm going to try this out. There are definitely things I can see coming with this card, because of you're able to use those specific cards that are only exclusive to villainy, but having them in a heroic, but you always need to have your Force token up and running so that you can burn it to use it without paying the aspect penalty. So very interesting unit there. Not going to sure how much play he's going to see, but I do see some play with him for sure. Leader-wise, for the new leaders we saw, I'm not overly impressed with them. I mean, Kylo Ren I think is actually pretty cool. Ahsoka's okay. I actually want to try Morgan Elsbeth. Snoke I'll give a try to, because I do actually like his ability. Rey, I like the front side. I don't like the back side. Ophi is pretty nice, again, just being able to reduce those event costs. I think 𝐂𝐾𝐾 will be another highly probably played card just because he can exhaust stuff all over the board state. And then Anakin Skywalker I do want to try out just for everything. But anyways, let's get over to the blues. I'm not exactly sure which one we've checked out. Again, all the common bases are mostly the same. Again, if you swung with when a friendly Force unit attacks, just create a Force token. I think we've checked out blue before. I think we checked out almost every base here. Again, commons are always going to be the same. When a friendly unit attacks, when a friendly Force unit attacks, the Force is with you, and then greens are all the rares are about the color. Again, when the group blue, when the group A's starts, if you have a guy with 4 or more power, get a token. If you can burn this action 3 times to get a Force. If you dealt 3 or more combat damage, get a Force. If action exhaust a friendly unit, make a Force. So that's kind of just it. Again, I feel like right now, if we're going to talk normal things, I feel like common bases are probably going to be played more of than the rare bases until people kind of figure out an idea around using the rare bases. Anyways, let's move on to units. We have, of course, the Magistrate Scout. That's a new card we haven't seen yet. He's just a Restore 2. At 3 for Restore 2 is not bad at all. We got a Supremacy Tie SF. Again, just another First Order. So now there's a little bit of First Order blue you can play in for Captain Phasma. It has Sentinel for 3/3, which I kind of really like. We have Kylo Ren's Lightsaber attached to a non-vehicle unit. If detached unit is a force unit, it gains this ability. This unit can be exhausted by enemy card abilities. Again, for 2, for +1/+3. Not bad. I do actually like that because it does allow you to allows you to kind of ignore all of the penalties for playing against like yellow cunning decks. So I do like that. I mean, having a force unit that can never be exhausted is pretty nice there. Again, a really good upgrade to like pitch off of Kylo and attach him to Kylo so he just becomes even bigger of a Sentinel problem. But yeah, pretty unique. We have always 2, a legendary right here. Choose a friendly Sith unit. Again, you need to find Sith, so it has to be a unique Sith unit. So it needs to be like Lord Vader, Darth Maul, people like that. If you do, give 2 shield tokens and 2 experience tokens to each chosen unit. Destroy all other friendly units. Ah, okay. Actually, funny enough, I actually do like this. So what you can easily do with it is you can swing a lot of your guys off with it. And then what you can do is then do always 2, target your 2 Sith that haven't yet fought, give them this 2 shield tokens and 2 experience tokens, and then nuke off all the guys that just attacked. So that's actually pretty nice. You send all your guys in to bash your opponent's face in the face with like controlling their board state or anything like that, and then go into it doing all of their then have your 2 Sith attack the base, which is pretty neat. Kind of an interesting legendary. A really interesting one for Vigilance Villainy. Again, kind of another one that's actually really good for Lord Vader in a funny way because of Hondo and Naka and all that. So anyways, then we have the Tragedy of Plagueis. Again, this is, of course, when Palpatine's talking about the story of Lord Plagueis to Anakin Skywalker. Anyways, choose a friendly unit for this phase. It can't be defeated by having no remaining HP. An opponent chooses a unit they control, defeat that unit. Okay. Oh wow. That's that's an interesting that is an interesting card for sure. Woo, okay. I like that. Basically, I can make a guy unkillable for the phase, and then I can basically just straight up kill one of my opponent's stuff for 5. Yeah, no, that's another really good Vigilance Villainy card. Is going to go into another control deck. I could see this going into Iden 100%. But yeah, really cool card there. Really cool card. I like that card. Man, the Vigilance Villainy always gets really good just control aspect cards. Do I see this one? This one you have to play the Sith, which is unique Sith units to get off. This one I could see probably playing a little more in Vigilance Villainy just because it's a very good control. The T6 Shuttle 1974. When this unit is attacked, you may give an experience token to this unit. So basically, it kind of becomes this big nuisance before damage is dealt. So, which is interesting. When this unit is attacked, before damage is dealt, you may give an experience token to this unit. So that's actually pretty interesting. Because this means that if my opponent wants to attack it, or I give it Sentinel, because we do have like diversion to give something Sentinel, basically now you can turn it and make it even bigger. Like even bigger, because before damage is dealt, I get a +1/+1 on it. So meaning that it goes to a 4/5. So yeah. Okay. Alright. Yeah, pretty unique. I could already see you giving this Sentinel and then making it just like a massive ship that not only just swings on my opponent, but also gets buffed up every time my opponent has to swing at it. Then we got Internet Warrior, an Itinerant Warrior. Shielded and when played, you may use the Force if you do heal 3 damage from a base. Just another way for Vigilance Heroic to heal bases. I think we talked about the Jedi Guardian before. While this unit is defending, get +2/+0. Again, a card just to give Sentinel to. We talked about Plo Koon. And then we have Jedi Holocron, attached to a Force unit. Attached unit gains on attack. You may heal 3 damage from other unit. Really good right there. And that's a nice card right now to kind of play around with. Who are we talking about where we want to really put damage counters on him. I mean, I wish it could have been done in Kylo Ren, but I mean, I guess you could pay the aspect penalty there, so then put it in Kylo Ren so that you could then heal up Kylo Ren constantly, because it's on attack, you may heal that from another unit. So you'd have to stick it on something that's not Kylo Ren, so that you can then heal that other unit. But still, pretty neat. Pretty neat. The Jedi Trials attached to a Force unit. Attached unit gains on attack, giving experience token to this unit. While this attached unit has 4 or more upgrades on it, gains a Jedi trait. Okay, so basically, if you have some weight that you need to manipulate with Jedi stuff, yeah, you'll be able to do stuff with that. But other than really giving a bunch of other than maybe giving experience tokens and maybe needing the Jedi key trait, that's really about it. We have Heirloom Lightsaber. Attached to a non-vehicle unit. The attached unit is a Force unit. 8 gains, restore 1. Okay. Again, we've all known it. Vigilance Heroics all been about restore. It's all about healing up your base and all that. So yeah, I do like that. Just another way to restore stuff to your base. Calm in the Storm. Exhaust a friendly unit. If you do, give a shield token to experience tokens to it. I mean, literally just basically give a shield token to experience to something you want to rest. So, not a bad card either. Not a bad card either. This is, of course, right before Qui-Gon Jinn dies to Mr. Maul. We've seen Doom. Size matters not. Again, just a really good reference to, of course, the Empire Strikes Back. If you draw a Force unit, this upgrade costs 1 less to play. So basically, it's 2 cost or anything like that. Attached unit. Printed power is considered to be 5, and its printed HP is considered to be 5. Okay, so basically you just manipulate the power and the printed cost to 5 and 5. Okay, pretty unique. I'm not going to see a lot of. Maybe this might see some playability, but I'm not going to say there's going to be a lot of it at all. Owns large, restore 2 when defeated. Search 5 cards for Force unit. I believe this is going to be in the starter deck. I believe this is going to be in the starter deck with Qui-Gon Jinn, if I remember. Another reprinted Guardian's Will, another reprinted Padawan Starfighter, because we needed that. We have Secretive Sage, it just comes in shielded for 2/2. Shielded, it's not actually bad to come in like on your first turn play. Really good. We have the 𝐒𝐓𝐀𝐘 shielded. This unit gets +1/+1 for each upgrade on him. Again, he's a Mandalorian, so he kind of wants to go with the Mando from Shadows of the Empire. No, Shadows of the Galaxy, the leader that came out there. We have a Tauntaun. It's a Tauntaun! When defeated, you may give a shield token to a damaged non-vehicle unit. I wonder if that's supposed to be a reference to, Han Solo opening up the Tauntaun so that he can shove Luke into it so that he can stay warm. We've seen Watto before. We have Awakened Spectre, another Knight card for the Night Sisters leader. We talked about Chera. We talked about Lothran. We did get our Space Whales. Our Space Whales are in the game now. We have a Graceful Purrgil. 2/7 with Sentinel and Space is actually pretty nice. Again, just a big, beefy object. We did get a Grappling Guardian. These are also creatures, by the way, so they work perfectly with Kanan Jarrus. And when played, you may defeat a space unit with 6 or less remaining HP. And by the way, they're creatures, so fun little fact you could do, Hotshot Blaster can't attach to a non-vehicle unit. Hotshot Blaster can attach to a creature, so you can technically Hotshot Blaster a Space Whale, and then the Space Whale gets to attack, which is pretty nice. So I do like this one right here. Another way to kind of play out a unit and then kill off a space unit so that we can kind of deal with the space area. Again, a little steep on 7 cost, but if you can get there, I think there's a lot of stuff you can do. The Mythosaur, shielded, friendly upgrade, units that can't be exhausted were returned to hand by enemy card abilities. Again, this is kind of really nice for Kylo Ren, especially because he's going to be stacked up with all of those upgrades, so that means we can't be exhausted. Again, most stuff can't return a leader unit anyways, but still, a really good way to kind of like protect all of your upgrade stuff. And then friendly leaders gain the Mandalorian trait, so if you do need something to have Mandalorian on it, there you go. Another legendary right there for you. Well, we got Bolstered Endurance, attached to a Force unit, gets a +1/+3. I think this is a little better. I know a lot of people like, especially like in Asajj, there was Resilience, that gives you the +0/+3. This is actually pretty not too bad either, but only really restricted to force, but still, buffing up your force unit, in my opinion, aren't that bad, especially like Kylo Ren to make sure that Sentinel is a lot stronger. Anyways, we got Whirlwind of Power, give a -2/-2 for this phase. If you control a force unit, give it -3/-3. Again, just another really good, just generic Vigilance Control card to give those minuses so that you can stay alive. I don't know if we talked about Shatterpoint. Defeat a non-leader unit with 3 or less remaining HP. Use the Force if you do defeat a non-leader unit. I think we talked about that before, but nonetheless, you definitely want to use the Force for it. Again, just another really good Vigilance Control card. Anyways, we have Exegol Patroller, just another really good first order card for Phasma. 2 cost, that's 3/1 with Overwhelm is actually really good. Again, also really good for Phasma, so that you have more first order cards in hand. But anyways, just that's about it for that. We have Vanae. When played on attack, you may defeat an experience token on a friendly unit. If you do get experience token to another friendly unit, that's actually pretty nice. You could do this in Tarkin to kill off experience units, not mentioning that it's Imperial, so it's on a friendly unit. I believe it would consider himself, because it doesn't say other friendly units, it just says on a friendly unit. So, should be able to do it on himself, and then basically give another experience token to something else. So you could easily, like, swing, have him have experience tokens, kill off the experience token, something that already swing, and then put it onto something else. So yeah, I could definitely see some stuff with him. I could always see it in Snoke and Grand Moff Tarkin. Patrolling Guard, while you control a unit with 4 or more power, gain Sentinel. Just another first order card there. You'll have to meet that threshold right there to get the Sentinel, but still, first order name means that Phasma has another first order card. We have the 8th Brother. He has Ambush, and then when you play another unit, may use the Force. If you do, give a unit +2/+2 for the phase. I actually really like that. The ability to basically always have, when you play another unit, burn your Force token to allow you to get +2/+2 to a unit for the phase. Whether it's him, whether it's something else, I really do think that is a really cool card right there for what we can do with it. Really nice. We have the Eye of Sion. It is a vehicle, by the way, so it's a 6 cost. This is just with Hidden Ambush, Overwhelm, Restore 1. This is kind of a really good card right now to consider playing in Piet. The Supremacy Lord Snoke, or Supreme Leader Snoke's personal flagship. Ambush other friendly vehicles, get a +6/+6. Wow, I really do like that, because that's massive. The only card deck that's playing this is Piet. Piet is the only leader that can manipulate this to reduce the cost. But still, Piet's got a couple of new tools right there to keep your eye on right now, because these are in aspect to Piet already. So, I actually kind of like this. The aspect is that Piet now has a very strong kill card in the end, because it has Ambush, and then it basically can give a +6/+6 to absolutely everything. Now, while Piet's very much of the aspect of I drop 1 ship per turn, still, being able to finish out games with all your ships should be pretty interesting to see how things go. But nonetheless, it's just a card right now for Piet to really manipulate. Maybe the Emperor could do it too, but Piet feels like the better thing. So keep your eye out. These 2 cards are very much going to be Piet staples. Supremacy, once more, is a legendary. So I don't see much playability with it. This one, I could definitely see we're going to see a drop in the price of, because it really only Piet's able to really manipulate it. Anyways, we have the Inquisitor's Lightsaber, attached to a non-vehicle unit. Attached unit gains while attacking a forced unit, gets +2/+0. I do like the +1/+3 here, but again, this really will only be kind of very viable if we're playing in such a force-heavy meta. Now, I do see we're getting close to a force-heavy meta, but again, we'll have to kind of see how the meta wraps up after this set drops. If we are definitely in a force-heavy meta, I would highly recommend maybe throwing that into a thing, because it just attaches to anything. It doesn't matter what you're attaching to. It doesn't matter what you're attaching to it. So as long as it's a non-vehicle, and then you could just go bash into force units for days. So pretty unique thought process there. Again, this card really only gets its bigger buff if we're attacking force. We have Craving Power attached to a friendly unit. When played, deal damage to an enemy unit equal to the attached unit's power. I like that. Just a really good way to attach to a big nuisance unit, and then we go and deal all that damage to one of our opponent's units. Really nice concept there. Good for Tarkin, good for Snoke, even good for like Kylo Ren. So you can do it because you can do it to anything on our one enemy unit equal to attached power. So it doesn't even have to be in the same arena. So if I attach it to and by the way, it doesn't say attached to a non-vehicle unit. So you could attach it to a vehicle unit as well and then have a vehicle unit wipe something off the board, which is pretty nice. So I do like craving power. Point Rain Reclaimer. When played, if you control a Jedi unit, you may get experience open to this unit. Pretty neat. Again, there's plenty of Jedi out there, and all of that. So, okay, not horrible there. Not horrible at all. You'll just need to make sure you have a Jedi unit out to play this, and he goes up to being a 2/3 for a 1-drop. Isn't too bad. Lore San Tekka, just a resistance unit, so that we can have more resistance units for Holdo, because Holdo does not have a lot of resistance units right now to play. When defeated, you may get an experience token to a unique unit. I mean, a 2-drop at 3/2 isn't half bad, even with resistance, but I'm not sold on it. I'm glad we got another name for resistance, so Holdo has another card, but still, it's okay. You better hope that when you swing in, you got something unique out, because otherwise you're just a waste. Anyways, everybody, it's the almighty Leia Organa floating in space. The best scene in, oh my gosh, it's the 8th movie. No, it's the 9th movie. It's Rian Johnson's horrible crap. The Last Jedi, I think it is, or I think it was. I have no idea. I tried to keep that movie out because it was horrible. It's Space Jesus Leia! I swear, if the Prestige art doesn't have Leia coming back to the ship, because I feel like Leia's going to get a Prestige. It's Leia Organa. Let's be a little honest. If she's not coming back to the ship as Space Jesus, I'm going to be a little mad. They literally, Fantasy Flight literally had all of the open right there to make literally Leia coming back as Space Jesus. Because apparently the Force, the very aspect that surrounds us, I get it, the Force, literally states now we can protect ourselves in the void of space. Who the heck taught Leia how to use the Force to protect herself in the void of space? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense at all. And the movie was absolutely dumb. So enough talking about Rian Johnson's trash. While this unit is in the space arena, by the way, she only can go in the space arena, which is interesting. She can't ready and gains action, use the Force, move this unit to the ground arena, and give another friendly heroic unit +2 for this phase. The hilarious part is, I do kind of really like the effect. It is, the card's the heart and the nature of what this card means is absolutely dumb and stupid, but I do like the effect. I mean, she literally can come out to space. You can action the Force, action to use the Force, move this unit to the ground, and then give each friendly heroic unit a +2/+2s for phase. Literally just give all of your heroic stuff +2/+2. She's also resistant, so she's really good for Holdo as another target. Nonetheless, well, the art is the whole aspect around the movie and the part of Jesus Leia coming back to the Radis from the void of space is absolutely dumb. How the Force can protect you in the void of space is beyond me, but this Force has always been mystical. I don't think Jedi protected themselves within the void of space with the Force. But nonetheless, I do like the effect. This actually will probably see a lot of play in Green Heroic. I actually can see this being a lot played in Rex Droid Factory or Unity Rex, because that means that you can drop Leia and then on your 6th turn, move Leia to the ground using the Force. So you'll have to lose the Droid Factory off of Rex to do this, unless Rex can find a way to get a Force token, which again, we've seen cards that give Force tokens. So basically, then she can burn the Force, come on down to the ground, and then give everything +2/+2, and then on that 6th turn while you're doing it, because the action is just to use the Force, and then go Unity and Purpose, and then just literally buff everyone up into existence, and then punch your opponent in for one massive turn. So right now, I do see like Unity and Purpose Rex trying to manipulate using this card. They'll just have to find a way to get a Force token. Moving on, we got Yoda! We don't get a new Yoda leader, but we do get a new Yoda unit. When played, you may use the Force. If you do, heal 5 damage from your base. Again, it is Grandmaster Yoda. Then when you use the Force, you may deal damage to a unit equal to twice the number of units you control. Okay, so very interesting. So when played, you can use the Force to deal 5 damage. And it's whenever you use the Force while he's up on the board, you can just smash damage all over the place with that equals twice the number of units you control. Okay, I like that fact. That fact actually is going to see some good play for like this. And plus, I can already see this going into Yoda Data Vault because of the fact that Yoda Data Vault can get up there. Yoda already comes out at a pretty steep cost. So yeah, I already can see this being played in Yoda Data Vault. He is another legendary, by the way. Leia was a legendary as well. Yoda's a lightsaber attached to a non-vehicle unit. When played, may use the Force if you do to heal 3 damage from your base. Again, look at that. You can do a when played with this to a when played with that, and then because we're using the Force, heck, we could now just deal damage. So yeah, pretty nice. A really nice card right now. It's probably going to see some good play like Yoda Data Vault to keep Yoda Data Vault very much still viable in the meta. Following the path, search top 8 cards for your deck for 2 Force units, reveal them, put them on top of your deck in any order. So basically, we don't even get to draw them. We just get to put them on the top of our deck. Well, I guess no, at that point, yeah, next turn, you literally do this as your last action of your turn before you pass, before both players officially pass, and you just draw the literally 2 units. So instead of drawing them in your hand at that moment in time, you're just basically going to draw them for a turn. Okay. Again, I'm not surprised we have a search card. JTL gave us a reprint for the fighters, prepare your fighters. Prepare for takeoff, which searches the top 8 and grabs 2 vehicle units. I'm not surprised we're getting a card that literally says search the top 2 cards. It's top 2 for Force units. It's a little sad though. It's not just generic cunning, or command. Prepare for takeoff is just generic command. This is generic. This is command heroic. So you either need to pay the penalty out of aspect for the heroic, or you'll be playing in heroic. Nonetheless, I don't think it's anything bad. I mean, it's literally just a search card for the Force units, so I'm not surprised we got one. Operanis, another legendary. Force, Jedi, and Republic. We have this unit gains ambush while you control another friendly unit. Unit has ambush. Or another friendly unit has ambush. The same is true for Grid, Hidden, Overwhelmed, Saboteur, Sentinel, and Shielded. This unit gains Raid 2 while another friendly unit has Raid. The same is true for Restore. Okay. We talked about the oh my gosh, what's her name? Sorry, it's gonna bother me until I go. Morgan Elsbeth. We talked about Morgan Elsbeth being able to bring out reduced costs for everybody that has a keyword. Hey, look, everybody, this guy just has all the keywords. So yeah, an interesting card for sure. I mean, this is also good, like in Boba. Boba from Shadows of the Galaxy because of his nature for keyword. Because you'll be able to have guys with ambush, you'll be able to have guys with hidden, overwhelmed, saboteur, sentinel, shielded, raid, which is really good, especially with the guy that can double all raids, and restore. Okay, yeah, I think this guy will see some play. I think it'll be some fringe play, but I see this guy seeing some play because he just gains all the keywords. All of the keywords are just all there. So basically, he just gains the keyword as long as there's a friendly unit with that keyword. So actually pretty neat ways to like manipulate a keyword strategy deck. Definitely going to be seeing probably a lot more play in like Boba from Shadows of the Galaxy since he likes to manipulate since he gives buffs to keywords. Alright, so we have a Acclimator Assault Ship. On attack, give another unit +5/+5 for the phase. I don't like that it's in double command. Yeah, because if you're not going to play double command, it's going to hurt. Again, just another capital class vessel, really good for Piet, because you can give +5/+5 to another space unit. But the problem with Piet is that you're going to have to pay that penalty unless you're going to play double green Piet, which I don't think many people are going to play double green Piet. But still, I have seen some people play double green Piet before. So if you like playing double green Piet, this is just a really good ship to put into it. A really good way to like hose out those games because he could drop 5 once Piet's awakened. So Really nice just to drop this ship and then have basically then every ship after that that's dropped on the board basically always has a chance to become a +5/+5. We got a Minok, 2-drop at 2/3, which is really good with Overwhelm. Just a nice, just generic command unit to come on down and basically be a nuisance at 2/3. We have the Hive Defense Swing, has Restore 1 for 2, 4, and 3, so not bad. We got just a vanilla Outer Rim Mystic. Just that's about it. It just has the Force keyword. That's all we're going to care about for that. But 2/6 on a 3 is actually really nice. This thing has a lot more staying power than you think, but still, it's actually pretty nice because now realizing it, 2/6 on a 3 drop actually is pretty good because it means our opponent will have to take a little while longer to kill it. And if we have a base that just needs us to swing with a forced unit, here's a forced unit. We have a Kadu. When played, give another friendly unit Overwhelm for this phase. So basically, just give something Overwhelm. Not bad at all. The Dreglon Master, 5 for 5/5. When played, when defeated, you may use the Force. If you do, search the top 5 cards of the deck for Force unit, reveal it, and draw it. Again, a really good just searcher card. Again, if you're playing a Force-heavy strategy and you need to find your Force units, dropping this for 5/5 with Force again on the common base is still not bad overall, just because then you'll be able to use the Force and then be able to get all your Force cards. No, not bad. We have the Relic Scavenger for 5, 4, 6 with Restore 2. Just a good way to continually heal up bases. We got another Space Whale, Hyperspace Wayfarer. Again, 6 for 4/10. It's actually really nice. A 6-drop that is 4/10. Man, that's going to be a creature that will be sustained for quite some time into the game. It's just a vanilla. Might be a good target for Kain and Jarrus. We have Trident Assault Ship for the Separatists. So, Count Dooku from set 3 or Twilight Republic will have another Separatist card that he can manipulate to reduce its cost for using his exploit ability. 6/6 for 6. That's really about it. It just has Overwhelm. We got the Purgle King. More Space Whales. It does have Restore 4, which is really good. I mean, 8-drop at 4/12 that restores 4. Woo! When played, draw a card for each friendly unit with 7 or more remaining HP. I really like that as well. You'll need a lot of high-costed guys, but the thing is, even though like Piet can drop it, I think Piet could easily use this because the fact is it's just generic command, and because Piet will have a lot of ships with like heavy like life cost on it, there's a good chance you'll have that. And it also says doesn't for each friendly unit, doesn't say each other friendly unit, so he does count himself. You technically will get 1 draw on the play, so nonetheless pretty neat. The Pylo Star Compass. Attach to a non-deal unit. When played, search top 3 cards of your deck for a unit, reveal it, and draw it. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, you get to look at top 3 to just find any unit you need and reveal it and draw it, so you just add anything you want. I think there are use cases, especially like in Data Vault decks, just so you can look at top 3 cards and then draw one of them, just so you can try to find a unit. It also could be useful maybe for like Yoda Data Vault. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not too sold on it as a card, but still, I mean, in a game where you need to constantly have units, I don't think getting a +1/+1 for a 2-drop attaching to a non-vehicle unit, in my opinion, is all that bad when I search top 3, and if I happen to hit a unit, I at least can draw it, which is pretty nice. We have Burden of Masters. You could put a Force unit from your discard pile at the bottom of your deck if you do play a unit from your hand and give 2 experience tokens to it. My guess is that play a unit from your hand is not for free, so do not expect that. I'll have to see if an FAQ allows that to be free. I would not expect it to be free at all. I would totally 100% expect it that you're going to have to pay the cost of the unit, and then basically you get to play it out for 2 tokens. So a good way to recycle your Force units and then play another unit and then give it 2 experience tokens, which could be pretty useful, especially because it just says play a unit. So you could easily, like, in a crazy way, maybe I want to play the Millennium Falcon in a green strategy because the Millennium Falcon is just cunning heroic. Maybe I'm playing a green leader. I'm going to put it out, and then I'm going to use Burden of the Masters, put a Force unit in the bottom of my deck, play any unit, and then I can give 2 experience tokens to that Millennium Falcon, and then because Millennium Falcon comes in readied, and then I can swing in with the Millennium Falcon. So there are some things I could definitely see with some manipulation with this card and certain strategies. Again, you'll need a force unit, but I feel like a lot of decks are going to be playing a lot of force units, in my opinion. So anyways, we have Overpower, give a unit +3/+3 and Overwhelm for this phase. That's really about it. Nice way to like clean up games or smash into big things of your opponent and then overwhelm a little more damage under their base. Rampage, each friendly creature gets +2/+2 for this phase. We're seeing a lot of creatures come out in this game right now in this set because of Kain and Jarrus. So I'm not surprised we're gonna get like we have the Cunning card that gives a +4 to attack with, and you attack with a unit, get +4 for the or creature and gets +4 for the attack. And then now we have each friendly creature unit gets +2 for this phase. So definitely a card to consider with Kain and Jarrus because he's definitely going to be creature heavy. And then we have Protect the Pod. A friendly non-vehicle unit deals damage equal to its remaining HP to an enemy unit. Again, a really just great way to say, hey, look, I have this big Purgle King. He has 12 health. I can deal 12 damage to something. So pretty unique card right there. Again, it's just a non-friendly vehicle unit. So ground units, I think it's really going to be for the Space Whales are really going to what's going to use this the best because Space Whales are so big. But nonetheless, just a really cool card. I mean, even on the ground, like if you got a really buffed up guy on the ground, using him to smash the face for someone could be pretty interesting. So yeah, just something to keep your mind on. We got another Grand Inquisitor. He has Hidden, Raid 1, and other Inquisitor units gain Hidden. Okay, yep. I could definitely see the Grand Inquisitor from Sparkle Rebellion is definitely going to be a playable deck in this set. And it's probably going to probably be very much meta viable in this set. So, yeah, I mean, giving every one of your Inquisitors Hidden and then being able to use like the Grand Inquisitor from Sparkle Rebellion to bring to you bring a guy out, use the Inquisitor to then restand it, and then because it has then the hidden keyword, your opponent can't attack it that turn. So yeah, that's pretty nice, really nice. Again, it's he already naturally gains it, and he gives it to every other Inquisitor. So yeah, but definitely going to be seeing a lot of play. I definitely see Sparkle Rebellion Inquisitor coming into his own. The Heavy Missile Gunship action, tap to deal 2 damage to a ground unit. Really good card. Just this is just going to go right into Boba Fett. I can already tell you. It's going to go right into Boba Fett because then it's just going to be a space unit that deals 2 damage to a ground unit. And because we dealt non-combat damage, here's an extra indirect damage. So that's just a card to go to Boba Fett. We've already seen all of these. We got Battle Fury. I think this just comes in the Maul starter deck. Attach unit gains on attack, discard a card from your hand. This is actually pretty good for Kylo Ren from Shadows of the Galaxy because he really wants to have no hand so that he can get his effect to go off where he gets his power buff. So actually a really good card to kind of throw on Kylo Ren there. We've already checked out all of these guys. I think we didn't check out Ki-Adi Mundi. I think we did. Anyways, when played, you may use the Force. You do draw 2 cards. For a 4/4/4, not bad. I mean, we literally do get to draw 2 cards, which is still very good. We got Rey. When you draw this card during the action phase, if you control a aggression leader or base, you may reveal this card from your hand. If you do 2 damage to a unit and 2 damage to a base. Okay, well, I could definitely see why now you want to use like the Rey leader to then draw this Rey, so then that way you can trigger the ability of this Rey. But yeah, I'm not sold on using this Rey just so I can do 2 damage to a unit and 2 damage to a base. Yeah, there's a lot more things I can do that are a whole lot better than hoping that I can manipulate my deck to draw this. Yeah. We talked about Mace. We have Sindar drawing. When played, you may play a lightsaber upgrade from your hand for free on this unit, and if you do, ready him. Alright, so basically, yeah, whatever deck you throw him into, we're going to be playing a lot of lightsabers. A lot of lightsabers came into this game. I mean, heck, you can even play for free, by the way, so it means you don't even have to pay aspect penalties. So if you want to play a lightsaber out of aspect onto him, you can do that as well. So pretty unique, 100%. Pretty unique, 100%. So I do actually like this. He is another legendary, by the way. But still, being able to literally, when played, play a lightsaber from your hand for free, and then you just ready him, and then you get the buff of the lightsaber and all that. So easy way just to clean up games in Aggression Heroic is then play him and then equip a lightsaber, restand him, and swing for game. So I could see him as like an end game thing, especially right here, attached to a Jedi non-vehicle unit for 2/2, lightsaber with 3. He's already at 8 damage at that point. He's an 8/8. Still, very nice. The focus determines reality. Each friendly force unit gains raid 1 and Saboteur for the phase. I actually do like it. I mean, that helps buff them up, and that basically gives a Saboteur, so if your opponent's been playing too many Sentinels, you can basically try to buff it up. Not mentioning it's on Force, so if there's vehicles with the keyword of Force on it, you can do that as well. So, pretty unique card, 100%. We have 𝐒𝐎𝐍𝐍𝐄𝐄. This unit gets +2 for each damage on him. I mean, 6 health at 5 double aggression. I mean, there are double aggression cards, don't get me wrong. Deck's running around out there, but still, I like that. For average damage counter on him, so he just gets a +2. So if he goes up to 5, you can get him. So basically, if he's up at 5 damage, he can basically have a 10. He can be 13, by the way. This guy can literally swing for 13 damage on one swing if he has 5 damage already on him. Yeah, okay, that is, woo, okay. Yeah, that's actually disgusting. I really like that. That's actually pretty nice. I think the probe droid comes in the Maul starter deck. When played, you may defeat a non-unique upgrade on a guy, which means we can't defeat pilot upgrades, the piloting leader upgrades. So, not good. We got the Cartel Interceptor. It just has raid 2. Congratulations, more raid 2. So we can manipulate it with the guy that doubles all raids. A Hyena Bomber. When played, control another aggression unit. You may do 2 damage to a ground unit. Not bad. Just another separatist keyword here. But again, you need to control another aggression unit to get it off. So, not bad. Not bad at all. Jedi in hiding. You got the hidden keyword. And when defeated, you may use the force. If you do, each opponent discards a card from their hand. Actually, not a bad thing to like force discards out of our opponent's hand. Again, discarding stuff out of our opponent's hand is still very good overall because we still want to control their hand in all aspects. So, not a bad card. Again, a really good hitting keyword card that basically our opponent can't attack immediately. So that way, then we can bring him up, swing with him, burn the force, swing it into something, kill it off, and then basically also, by the way, he's just normal aggression, and I believe he's under the threshold for the Inquisitor from Spark of Rebellion, so I believe he could also be played under that. So, just an idea here. We have a reprint for the Hunting Nexu, which is pretty nice. Again, creatures are being reprinted in the set every day. So anyways, we have Quinlan and 𝐒𝐍𝐍𝐄𝐄 Ventress. These two are definitely going to be going together. I think they actually date in the canonical. I don't know if it's the Legends universe or the canonical universe of Star Wars, but I know they're dating in one of them. So anyways, on attack, if the unit has 6 or more power, you may deal 2 damage to an enemy base. Really nice. And then, by the way, if this unit has 6 or more power, but how do we get up to 6 or more power? Don't worry, when played on attack, give another friendly force unit +2 for this phase. Congratulations. So you just need to play 𝐒𝐍𝐍𝐄𝐄, buff up Quinlan, and then Quinlan gets powered up, and then you just deal 2 damage to any base. Congratulations. Hey, look, did you want another Quinlan to go into Quinlan Tarkin Town? I heard everyone really wanted Quinlan to get another Quinlan Tarkin Town card. Heck, you can even throw the blaster onto him and then attack, and then he'll get that. He'll be at 5 at that point. I think the blaster only gives a +1. I forget what the Hotshot Blaster gives, but I think if the Hotshot Blaster at least gives 2 power, he meets the threshold. So these two are just basically here to go together. You can definitely see where their arts are kind of very close together. A reprint of the Wampa. We have a Blockade Runner, has Saboteur. It's a 5 cost for 4/4. When this unit deals combat damage to a base, you can give experience token to this unit. Okay. Yeah, I do like this. This is also really good for, say, if you're playing the rare aggression base from this set, so that you can, when you deal combat damage, you gain the forces with you. So you gain your force token. So yeah, actually this is pretty nice card here, basically because if your opponent doesn't deal with it, you definitely are going to be getting a little out of hand, because every time you do combat damage, you're getting more and more powerful. So if this thing can definitely get out of hand. Also, by the way, it is a capital class vessel. So if you're playing Piet Red, this can go into Piet Red, and he can drop it for a 4 cost. But if he's awakened, he could drop it for 3, which is even worse. So just another idea to keep in the back of your mind, even though it's rebel, vehicle, and capital ship. The rebel keyword is nice as well because it does mean if you wanted to play like Leia Red, Leia from Spark of Rebellion, the leader that states tap or attack with one rebel unit and then attack with another rebel unit. So that means that this blockade runner can swing with Leia's effect and then get that buff. So there's a couple things you could do with it. It's a capital class ship, which means Piat can reduce its cost, and it is a rebel, which means you can do it with Leia. So just keep that in mind. We have Sase 10. When played, if you have the initiative, deal 1 damage up to 3 units. Okay. I mean, I guess. I mean, it's a Force 6, Force Jedi and Republic, so I mean, not a bad idea here for him. But again, the fact he's only dealing 1 damage to stuff, but still, I mean, actually, this card could actually go into Quinlan Tarkin Town because of the fact is that he just deals 1 damage, and if you haven't burned your Tarkin Town yet, you can then burn it there. But the problem is it's a when played, not when attacking when you have the initiative. So I'm not really sold on him, but still neat effect if you need to do a little bit of chip damage to something. Then we have, it actually goes with the War Juggernaut as well. I just realized that this actually is really good for the War Juggernaut. It's also good to like deal with Vader TIE Swarm, especially if they don't have Victor Leader up just yet. You can utilize him to kill off some TIE fighters. So you could do that as well. I also see him kind of being very useful for other strategies, like War Juggernaut, being able to use him with War Juggernaut. So then you can damage stuff, and then War Juggernaut can damage some other things, and War Juggernaut becomes even bigger. Yeah, I could also see it being used like for some grit stuff. It just doesn't state where I have to deal the damage. So you can do like for Asajj Red, Asajj from JTL, to then get some more grit damage over. Ravenous, Rainthor for 6/8/5 red creature. We have Invasion Capital Ship. Each friendly droid units gain +2. This would definitely be going if you're a General Grievous fan. This is definitely what you're going to play with him because his effect is he wants droids on the battlefield so that he can turn them into sentinels. So this is just going to be basically that. By the way, it is a capital class vessel, so if you oddly want to play it with Piat, you can, but it's going to be kind of pointless because you're not going to have any droids for Piat. But still, it's a really good card here to kind of manipulate with the aspect of using the General Grievous from Twilight of the Republic, the starter leader. We got Bindu, another legendary. On attack, deal 3 damage to each other unit. Yeah, just deal 3 damage wherever you like. Just deal it everywhere. So yeah, I mean, it does do it to your own stuff. But for 8/10/10, this is just another Crate Dragon. This is basically the new Crate Dragon. So you can draw Crate Dragon and you can draw Bindu. So I definitely could see Bindu seeing a lot of play just because he's literally just, hey, look, come on down. I'm going to snipe everything 3 damage. Oh, Lord Vader, if you survive to 8 turns, I will be surprised with Lord Vader. But if you survive for 8 turns with Lord Vader, then you can go Vader, and then you can bring down Bindu, somehow survive their turn, and then swing, and Bindu can wipe out most of Lord Vader's ships right off the board before they even do anything. Nonetheless, I really do like him. It will be kind of interesting to see what decks really will use him. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of strategies. I go to see like Mace Windu from Twilight of the Republic using him, just like Mace Windu from Twilight of the Republic likes using Crate Dragon. But yeah, hey, look at that. Just another really good, really powerful legendary at 10/10. So yeah, really, really neat. We got Heavy Blaster Cannon attached to a non-vehicle unit. When played, you may deal 1 damage to a ground unit, then deal 1 damage to the same unit, and then deal 1 damage to the same unit. So basically, in essence, we deal 3 damage to 1 unit. Okay. Still, not a bad thing. I mean, if you literally are trying to wipe something out, that's not a bad way to try to wipe something off of the board for sure. Unleash Rage, I'm pretty sure this is going to be in the Maul starter deck. Not sure what's in the Maul starter deck, what's not in the Maul starter deck. But anyways, use the Force if you do give a friend unit +3, +0 for the phase. Really good way to clean up board states. We talked about Art of Onslaught. Do. Oh my goodness, we have the infamous words. Do or do not. There is no try. You may use the Force if you do draw 2 cards. If you do not, draw a card. Okay, so Pre Vizsla from Twilight of the Republic. He gets buffs for every time you draw a card. So this will be just another really good card for him to manipulate. You'll have to burn the Force token to get the draw 2, but still, I mean, if you don't, it's still a 2-draw 1 card, which isn't great. So Priest Vizsla is probably going to need to play one of the force spaces so you can burn the force to then draw 2 cards. So I actually kind of like that. A really good card kind of to think about for Priest Vizsla. We got Lightsaber Throw. Discard a lightsaber card from your hand if you deal 4 damage to a ground unit and draw a card. Again, Kylo Ren is really good for this, probably to put him in as like Vigilance, Villainy, Heroic, or no, Vigilance, Villainy, and then Aggression, so that you can then pitch the lightsabers, like his lightsaber specifically, so that you can deal 4 damage to a ground unit and draw a card. Just another really good way for Aggression to deal damage. You'll have to discard lightsabers, so just be cautious that you'll need to have lightsabers in deck. So whatever deck you play around, you'll need to have lightsabers. We have Time of Crisis. Each player chooses a unit they control, deal 3 damage to each unit not chosen this way. Okay, so basically if your opponent's going to a wide board state, like I said, like Vader, he goes into wide board states pretty easy on turn 4. If your opponent's already spamming TIE Fighter tokens, I'll just choose something on my side of the board. My opponent chooses something on his side of the board. We just wipe Vader's stuff right off the board. Most of the time, they'll probably choose Victor Leader. But still, I mean, a 4 that basically forces 3 damage to every one of my opponent's things is not a bad idea to take into an aggression like control strategy. For the Cunning, as we only have Cunning, we only have Cunning, Heroic, and Villainy, and then Uncolored or Free type. But anyways, Adaptive, Anger, Action, Use the Force, Exhaust a unit. I mean, again, just another way to control board state. Let's not kid ourselves. Cunning is all about control. We've already seen a really good card to talk about once again with Raid, especially with this Man Rat down here, and also with the Grand Inquisitor. Deceptive Shade. When defeated, the next unit play this phase, gain ambush for the phase. Actually, not too bad. I mean, literally, we can go swing a couple things in. We get Raid. If you have ways like the Rule of 2 that can then kill it, because it's only when defeated, next unit play that phase gets ambushed. So you have to be cautious about when you kill it, but still, the ability to gain ambush for something isn't, in my opinion, all that bad. We have the Banking Clan Shuttle. It just is hidden for 3. Again, I think another card, especially if you're going to play Grand Inquisitor, Spark of Rebellion, like Cunning, because then you can get a lot of really good abilities, especially with him. The Banking Clan Shuttle, once again, is hidden, so you can restand it. Anyways, we have then the 2 characters from, we'll talk about these 2 next up, but we do get the 2 characters from the Ahsoka show. I haven't watched it, so I'm not exactly sure their reasoning. I know they do try to go find Grand Admiral Thrawn. But anyways, we have Shin Hati. She's got hidden, and she is shielded. Again, just not really good card to come out on your 3-drop for 4/2, hidden and shielded, which is really good. You have your second sister on attack. You discard 2 cards from your deck. For each force you discard this way, ready a resource. I think we talked about that last in part 3, but nonetheless, pretty unique. I do still like that effect. Again, you'll need to be able to manipulate your deck to discard force units, but still, very neat. And we have Baylan Skull, hidden, and when played, you may use the force. If you do, return a non-lethal unit cost 4 or less to its own hand. This owner may play it for free. Basically, I'm just going to be playing my thing for free, and then I'm going to bring it back out, which is really nice. As when played, so if you attack with someone who already has a hidden keyword, and they basically can die that turn, like, say, Shin Hati, and then basically you can return Shin Hati back to your hand, and you can play Shin Hati again, coming in once again with the hidden and shielded, which is pretty nice. You can only do it once, but still, not a bad way to, like, manipulate some hidden stuff back to your hand so you can do stuff with it. Anyways, we have the Corrupted Saber. Attached to a non-vehicle unit. If attached unit is a force unit and gains on attack, the defender gets -2 for the attack. I believe this is very similar to the Jedi Lightsaber for blue, or Vigilance Heroic. That does the exact same thing, but I think it does the exact same thing, but now we have one for Cunning Villainy. We've seen all of these cards. This is one of the starter deck cards. Here we go. We have Cal Kestis' droid finally. BD1. He has hidden, and then when played, choose another friendly unit. While his unit is in play, the chosen unit gets +1 and gains Saboteur. So basically, he can just target something like the leader, anything like that, and you get +1 and Saboteur as long as it's on the board. It's kind of just Hu Yang. It's basically just Hu Yang, but But yeah, it's really just Hu Yang. That's all it really is just another Hu Yang-like effect. But nonetheless, pretty neat. We have a vanilla N1 Starfighter, a 3-2 for Cunning and Heroic. Really good fighter there. Actually, not a bad, like first drop onto the board, because then you can basically just drop this and then swing it next turn. Take if you're going first, drop it, take initiative, and just bash one of your opponent's guys in space to death because it has 3 damage. Not a bad card. We've seen all of this before. Yeah, we saw Qui-Gon Jinn. Really good Qui-Gon Jinn, by the way. If you're looking for legendaries, this one's going to be up there probably in price because he's just super good. We talked about Qui-Gon Jinn lightsaber, Mind the Trick. We have Premonition of Doom. Each time you take the initiative this phase, exhaust all units. Oh, wow. Okay, so basically what you can do is you can drop this, and if your opponent still has a bunch of things that they haven't played, you basically drop this, and then you take the initiative next. So basically, this is if you don't have anything else to do and your opponent's gone wide, you drop this, and then take the initiative, and then your opponent has to exhaust everything. Exhaust everything. It doesn't say your units, it says all units. You just exhaust everything. So, okay, I actually like that. It kind of pushes more of an incentive of when to take the initiative. So I really like that because now it's going to make game states very interesting of when to really take the initiative, because it really could just end a turn. Typically, when you take initiative, your opponent still has a bunch of guys to attack. You're basically just dead. I mean, let's be honest. But now it really is going to put a change on the game state, especially around Cunning Heroic, because Cunning Heroic need more ways to rest our opponent's stuff on the board. So yeah, I really like this. Okay, I really like that. Just another really good way that I like that they putting like a card right here that tells us they want to try to play some cards that kind of manipulate like you taking the initiative while your opponent still has stuff they can play or swing and stuff like that. Pretty neat. We got Zuckuss, another Zuckuss, by the way, which does mean that we do have Forlom, which does mean Forlom, because again, Forlom's effect from Shadows of the Galaxy just needs a Zuckuss to be on the board. This is again another Zuckuss. On attack, name a card, then discard the top card of the defending player's deck. If a card with the name is discarded, you can get +4 for this attack. Okay, so a good way to mill. No cards come to my mind that can manipulate the top card of my opponent's deck, so I can see what it is. Just so I know what do you do with the Zuckuss. But still, I like it. I mean, I just name a card. My opponent has to forcibly discard the card, and if I happen to hit the name, I can get up to 8/7. Okay. Yeah, I like that. I really do kind of actually like that. That's a neat effect there. Nothing comes to my mind that can like manipulate. No! Oh my gosh, Thrawn! The Thrawn leader from Spark of the Rebellion that can look at either player's top of their deck at any time, and then you can basically manipulate with that. Oh my gosh, there we go. That's how you power it up. You can use the Thrawn leader from Spark of the Rebellion, look at the top card of your opponent's deck, put it back down, and then you can attack with Zuckuss. Zuckuss, state the name of the card because you literally will know it. They'll discard it. You get the +4. So there we go. A legendary, by the way. I'm not sure if it's going to see like a high spike in legendaries. There aren't that many legendaries I actually feel like are going to see a high spike of playability. Because this right now, I've only really thought of like one leader that can really utilize him. That really matters because that leader will probably still be playing the old Zuckuss and the Forlom to do stuff with it as well. We have Force Speed, run, Obi-Wan, run, use your Naruto, run. On attack with a unit. For this attack, it gains on attack, return any number of non-unique unit. Upgrade attached to the defender to their owner. To the defender to their owner's hand. So basically, if you got a guy who's running a lot of experience tokens or shield tokens, because those are all considered upgrades, you can just remove them all. By the way, it is double cunning, so there are probably decks that can do stuff with it. So pretty interesting. Again, on the defender, by the way, so you're going to be swinging at one of your opponent's guys. So just be kind of mindful that it's on the defender. You just remove their upgrade, but still, I think it has a unique gameplay mechanic, kind of like really removing things. By the way, this means that also you can remove, it just says, it says non-unique. So basically, it will just be force tokens and basic upgrade things. Force shields and basic upgrades. We have Baba Frick. Action, tap him. You may play a friendly droid unit. For this attack, it deals damage equal to the remaining HP instead of its power. Okay, so I mean, that's pretty nice. So again, a really good card kind of for General Grievous to play around with from Twilight of the Republic, so that you can play a droid, attack with a friendly droid unit, and then if that droid unit has a better HP count than attack count, then you could do stuff with that. Which again, there are droids like that throughout the game that have, like we just saw with the red invasion control ship, because it has 5/9, so it has 9 health rather than 5 attacks, so you could do a little more damage with that. But yeah, we have the 𝐒𝐓𝐀𝐘. When played, when defeated, you may exhaust a ground unit, because we definitely needed more ways to exhaust units in cutting. Anyways, we have the really, again, if you're looking to just be a nuisance with exhaustion, this is the way to be the nuisance. Also, by the way, if you just need to go punch one of your opponent's guys off the board before they really do anything with it, there you go. There's another way to do stuff with it. Also, by the way, Quinlan can manipulate this as well. Anyways, we have Mysterious Hermit, just an ambush for 1/4. Not really a great ambusher for 1/4. There's way better people, like Cloud Rider. If you're going to play a 2-drop that you want to ambush into on the ground, Cloud Rider is so much better. He's a 3/1 that with ambush and is a 2-drop. We got 3 Tusken Tracker, got Raid 2, which again, really good to manipulate with the legendary. And then when played, each enemy unit loses hidden for the phase. Okay, so we got a card here that basically will kind of deal with the new hidden keyword. So basically, kind of will probably see some probably fringe play in side decks, because you can remove that hidden keyword. So still very nice. We have the Charging 𝐒𝐓𝐾, ambush and the hidden. Again, ambush for 3/4. By the way, this is actually really good for if you're looking to play with Boba Fett, because again, for he is in that color. Boba Yellow does exist, so you would play it under Boba Yellow. Ambush, and then has the hidden keyword, which is pretty nice as well. So if you didn't want to get the ambush, or you needed to, it had 1 health left after ambushing, your opponent wouldn't be able to kill it off. So I mean, next turn you could then swing 3 damage at base. We've already talked about the Dooku. I don't know if we did, but when played, each friendly unit with hidden can't be attacked. Each friendly unit with hidden can't be attacked for this phase. So basically, this Dooku manipulates the hidden keyword. So even though after the hidden keyword has resolved for that phase, so basically you played a hidden card, then you pass the turn, and now you're no longer hidden. He basically can just rehide them, which is pretty nice. Way to just make sure you're always, all your guys with the hidden keyword are always staying hidden. Anyways, then we have Life Wind Sage. While an enemy unit is exhausted, this unit gets a raid 2. So basically, just exhaust all your stuff and you get a raid 2. And hey, look at that. Did you like that we got a guy that can double raids? Yeah. Anyways, we have the Sorcerers of Tund. Just comes in shielded for 666. Okay, not bad. And then we have Ascension Cable. Attached to a non-vehicle unit. Attached unit gains Saboteur. So basically, just gain Saboteur. By the way, all the Space Whales can have everything here that says, anything here that basically is non-vehicle, Space Whales can have them. So I could have a Space Whale that's a Saboteur. Woo! Sabotaging Space Whales. Are you okay? There's a disturbance in the force. Like, billions of lives screamed out and then snuff. I can't remember the full quote, but that's what it's quoting. If a friendly unit left play this phase, the force is with you. You may give a shield token to a unit. So basically, create the force and give a shield token if a friendly unit left play this phase. It doesn't say how it left plays, so if we get FAQs on this, so if, like, for instance, Qui-Gon Jinn's ability to bounce a guy back to your hand, I would believe that would mean left play this phase, because it doesn't say defeated, it just says left play, so meaning that we should be able to do Qui-Gon Jinn's ability to bounce a guy back to our hand, and then because we did move a unit, we could then create a force token and then give a shield token to a unit. So I can already kind of see something being useful with this. Again, that's if my wording is correct on what they mean by left play, which it should. We have Force Slow, exhaust a unit, get -8 for the phase. Well, I guess we know if you're trying to stave off damage, that is a good way to stave off damage, giving something -8 for the phase, which also means that because then you can -8 it, then you can have something swing into it if you need to kill it off and still keep your guy up and running. We have Psychochemistry. choose another card in your discard pile. Search top 5 cards of your deck for that card that shares a trait with the chosen card. Reveal it and draw it. So basically, if you're looking for like Force units, Droid units, Clone Republic units, so basically you're choosing a trait, and basically you're looking for it, like transports, anything like that. So I do like that. I mean, literally choose something in my graveyard that has a trait that I want to then hope to get another card of that's a trait. For a 1-drop that search the top 5 for a card with a trait I'm looking for, not a bad card. Luke, trust your instincts. Use the Force if you do attack. If you do attack with a unit, it gets +2 for this attack, and it deals its combat damage before its defender. So basically, more ways to basically attack with things and then deal with and then be able to deal that combat damage before the defender deals combat damage. Again, we'll have to use the Force to get it, but still, very unique card. I do like that we're seeing more and more of these cards that allow us to deal combat damage first before our opponent deals combat damage back to us. So, very unique. We have a Perilous Predicament. What a lovely smell you discovered, Your Highness. Return an enemy non-leader unit to its owner's hand, unless its controller says it could be worse. If they do, you may play a card named its worst from your hand or resources for free. We'll check out the card. It's a vanilla 7-drop that literally just kills off anything. Just literally kills off a non-leader unit. So basically, if my opponent doesn't want me to bounce their card back, they have to say this, and if they do, I get to just nuke something. I get to play a card literally from my resources, which it looks like it will burn it from the resource and I won't be able to restore it like what the smuggle mechanic does. But then I get literally just to play it for free. I mean, I could put in my resources, use it for my resource, and then just nuke something off the board, which is pretty nice. Force Illusion, exhaust enemy unit. A friendly unit gains Sentinel for the phase. It's kind of what we've seen with Diversion, but Diversion usually gives a Sentinel something to Sentinel, but then we just get to exhaust enemy unit because Cunning needs more ways to exhaust stuff. We did talk about Pounce, really good. Like I said, we have Surprise Strike, we have Punch It, now we have Pounce. Surprise Strike is anything, Punch It is vehicles, and now creatures can attack with a +4, which basically helps us just close out games. 3 lessons. Play a unit from your hand. It gains Hidden for this phase, give an experience token and a shield token to it. Like this a lot. The aspect is I can play any unit from my hand, paying its cost, and then it gives it Hidden for the phase. So if I don't want my opponent to punch it in the face for the turn, I bring it out. Just use this. I give a shield token to it and an experience token to it, which is really nice. So I can definitely see some play with that. We have the Tip the Scale. Look at your opponent's hand and discard a non-unit card from it. Congratulations! More ways to discard my opponent's hand! So what do we got? Spark Rebellion, Jam Communications, Political Pressure actually does it. Now we have Tip the Scale, Will of the Force. Yeah, so, well now, why it doesn't get rid of non-unit cards, it can get rid of events, upgrades, and, those two. Jamming gets rid of, events, and then Spark Rebellion gets rid of everything. So, Cunning Heroic now has 3 ways to get rid of cards, but if you're just playing normal Cunning, now you have multiple ways. I could definitely see this now being even more manipulated with stuff like Thrawn's Chimera. Chimera from Spark Rebellion that swing on attack, name a card from my opponent's hand. My opponent has to show the hand. And then if they see an event, and then they have to discard that named card out of their hand. So pretty unique card there that you could do some stuff with it, where you can do this to see their hand, discard something, and then their next turn, if they haven't played it, then go Chimera the swing, and then name a card that you know they had in their hand, and they discard it. So pretty unique stuff we can do there. We've already talked about Will of the Force. Most stuff we've already talked about here. Forged, Starfighter, Kylo Ren, Fallen Jedi for 3/4. Just a vanilla there. Pretty nice. The Dark Tyrannus that everyone's going to want from the starter deck. The Sand Trooper Cavalry just has some grit for 4/2/6. Really good there for Saj, by the way, from JTL, because then you can manipulate that grit up a little more. The Centaur, Darth Malak, again, another really good legendary. A lot of people, in my opinion, are going to be looking for, because you have to control a Sith leader. He just comes in ready. He's really good for Palpatine. He's really good for Revan. Oh, man, we are getting the Sun. Holy crap. We did see, I mean, I had a feeling the way when we had the Anakin Skywalker in for vigilance that we would get, like, it was the scene where he's controlling both the son and the daughter, and the father's overwatching him. So there is the mother as well, but the mother is a Legends character. Anyways, we have HK-87 Assassin Droid. When defeated, deal 2 damage to each ground unit. I kind of really like that. Just another way to kind of help deal with the ground if, ground becomes more prevalent over space. Because space has been really prevalent right now. We have Army of the Dead, another card with Night on it that can be used for the Night Sisters. The Sun. While the force is with you, each friendly unit gets +2/+0. I really do like that. Being able to get that big buff of power off while you have the force is pretty nice. Still, I'm glad to see we got the Sun. I wonder if, because the daughter is heroic, so 100% the daughter will be coming in heroic. We have consumed by the dark side. Yes, Quinlan does slowly become consumed by the dark side. He does survive Order 66. Give 2 experience tokens to unit and then deal 2 damage to it. Again, not really a bad idea. Also really good for the 𝐒𝐓 deck strategy because you could then put 𝐒𝐓 on a vehicle, give it 2 experience tokens, and then 2 extra damage to it, which again pumps up 𝐒𝐓 even more. A Flight of the Inquisitor. You may return a force unit and a lightsaber upgrade from your discard pile to your hand. Not a bad thing. Kind of probably going to be maybe played with Kylo Ren. Because then you can manipulate this with Kylo Ren, so you can use Kylo Ren to ditch an upgrade, then draw a card, and then you can get that upgrade back, especially if it's a lightsaber, and then do stuff with that. So yeah, it's pretty neat. In the shadows, again, give an experience token for each up to 3 friendly units with the hitting keyword. For the heroic stuff, we got the Caretaker Matron action. If you played a force unit this phase, draw a card. Really good card, especially if you're going to play a force heavy strategy. It's a good idea to play out because of the fact that you'll be able to just draw cards for days. Really good card. Again, it's kind of like Dr. Pershing, where Dr. Pershing has to deal damage to draw. I still think cards like this that give draw advantage are very important in games. We have the Vulpetix, the fox creature from that mining world where the Resistance fought with those dilapidated ski speeders. 3/2 hidden. It comes out for 2. Is actually pretty nice. Again, I really like the stat line there. We've already talked about Grogu. Again, a really good legendary in my opinion. Is probably going to help bump up Quinlan even more. We have a Gungan warrior. More Gungans! Anyways, we have shielded and restored 1. Pretty nice right there. I mean, it comes in restored. Pretty nice. Just really like that. We got Jokestis New. This is the librarian. When played, you may attach a friendly upgrade on a friendly unit to a different eligible unit. Kind of just really moving around your upgrades. What I could definitely see with this one is put this in the Luke Skywalker pilot, and then basically put her down, and then you can move around like the Luke Skywalker pilot to different things. Also, really not a bad upgrade to actually do with even like Hera, being able to give experience tokens and have her swing and then move an experience token to something else. So yeah, like what I really see is manipulating with some of the heroic pilots, like Luke Skywalker. So he swings, he deals his damage to something already while he's attached to a fighter. You play her, and then you take Luke Skywalker and you put him onto another fighter, and then you swing that fighter, and then Luke Skywalker's attached to another fighter. So then you just deal damage again. So I can definitely see some manipulation with utilizing the pilots with her, especially the pilot leaders. We've talked about Luke Skywalker, really good, just kind of really good for Hera. The medical frigate on attack, he'll do damage from another unit. Really good. I'm gonna probably see this. Probably gonna see some play so that you can bash into things and then heal off that damage. Pretty interesting. I think it probably will see a little bit of play just because then it makes a lot of cards nuisances. Then we have a Blue Squadron Assault Wing. By the way, really actually good with Grogu because then you can heal the doom damage and then deal that much damage to a unit. And then basically you heal 2 damage from a unit and then deal that much damage and then deal it to your opponent. And then you can swing something else and you could do like Medical Frigate to like heal off damage again. So there are stuff I could see with the Medical Frigate. and like Grogu. Blue Squadron Assault Wing has a raid 1 for 555, which is pretty okay. It is the daughter. So I don't think we have the father. So we don't have the father, but we have the daughter. I mean, I don't know if this is it is the core set right now. So I'm not sure if this is everything we're going to get. I would hope maybe next set we'll get the father. But anyways, we have the daughter. You may deal when damage dealt to your base. You may use the force. If you do, you heal 2 damage from your base. Pretty nice. Basically, always saying to your opponent, hey, I have the force here. I'm just going to heal off that damage you dealt. And then because I can, because of a lot of strategies like in command have heal, we can then heal more things. So I like it. I like it that we got the son, we got the daughter. We don't have the father, and like I said, the mother is a legends being. So unless the next set gives us more legends cards, which I guess maybe they could. Like Seekers of Power could definitely give us like the father and like the mother, because we've seen legend cards in this set. And then we have Long Being Cruiser, has a restore 1. Just nice. Anyways, we got the Porg, a lot of Porg. We had the Grifted Urchin for Force and Fringe for 2. We have the Cowan Monkey Lizard. It just has Ambush for 2. Really kind of good with Boba from Shadows of the Galaxy, because then you can get a buff with it as well. So you can bring in a little more power. We have Pele Moto attack, gain experience token to a friendly vehicle or droid unit. Kind of really good to play again in the Grievous from Twilight of the Republic, because you can then pump up the droids. You can also play her in Piet to pump up all your big vehicles. Ravaging Gundark, when played, deal 1 damage to a ground unit. It's not great. Oh, we do have the father! Okay, so the son is the dark side, which makes sense. He represents the dark side of the Force. The daughter is the light side of the Force, so she's heroic. So the father, because I guess in essence, he doesn't bounce between either side of the Force. He's like the middle point that controls both the daughter and the son. So we have the family. Oh my gosh, we actually have the family themselves. I was hoping that they would do the family in this set, because it makes 100% a reason why they should do it. It's a Force set. They literally are beings that are said to be of the Force themselves. The son of the dark side, the daughter of the light side, and the father as being the middle. So 8, 5, and 10, when you use the Force, you may deal 1 damage to this unit. If you do, the Force is with you. Okay, so he's a legendary. He's a legendary. It makes sense. I guess makes sense. I wouldn't really think he needs to be a legendary. He's just not all that good of a legendary, because literally he doesn't have a way to give himself grit. So he literally can't power himself up to be damaged. But I mean, when you use the Force, you can literally just continually hit him with pain points and constantly get a Force token. I can definitely see him played with Arva Chris, so that you can always like manipulate that Force for Arva Chris to come out on that 9 turn or even sooner. But I'm not sold on him being an 8 cost and a legendary. He's probably going to be one of those legendaries that are cheap. He's probably going to get a prestige treatment. If we're talking about prestige treatments, I would not be surprised if the son, the daughter, and the father all got prestige treatments. They have to give them prestige treatments. Let's kid ourselves. These characters are 100% very important to the aspect of the Force itself. So, yeah. So, I would probably expect maybe we'll get the mother at some point in time, especially because now they're in Legends continuity, starting with this set. So, yeah, I would expect the mother would come in some. But yeah, I'm not sold on the father. I wish maybe he was a little less cost, but maybe we can find some ways to manipulate down that cost. But I do like his ability. I mean, he just able to manipulate the Force 100 times over. So, yeah, pretty nice card there. We already talked about the constructed lightsaber. We have go into hiding, choose a unit. It can't be attacked for this phase unless it has Sentinel. Basically, in essence, it's got the hidden keyword on it for the phase. Last words, if your friendly unit was defeated this phase, give the 2 experience tokens to a unit. Really nice, like just a generic way to give experience tokens if a friendly unit was defeated this phase. I like that we have the last words art is literally Obi-Wan saying goodbye to Qui-Gon. And then we have It's Worse. Defeat a non-friendly unit. So here's the card that you can play off of the Cunning card. So basically, like I said, just another great way just to kill off stuff. And by the way, it's just generic as well. So every deck is probably going to, any deck that just can manipulate up to 7 energy is probably going to be playing this. I could already see that myself playing this in Iden. just because it's just generic, just kill non-leader units off the board. But yeah, that is it. I believe that is, it said the core. So my guess is we're viewing, yeah, this is it. This is the entirety of the set and all the starter cards as well. So that is it, folks. Here I thought we would only need to worry, I'd have to worry about not being able to talk about the entirety of the set as a whole, but it looks like we have the entire core set now before us. Now, we don't know what's getting the prestige treatment just yet. My guess is that we're going to, of course, get some of the cards like the father, the daughter, the son. I wouldn't expect to see Malik. We're probably going to see some uncommons and rares. Some legendaries will get it. So yeah, I mean, it will always be the unique stuff that will get the prestige treatment. Like I expect like Leia, I do hope they do like the Jesus Leia art. I think that would be the greatest pun in the world for them to do that art. I'm not saying she needs to come in like she's Superman, but you know, like what she did in the movie would have been pretty neat. But nonetheless, I was a little afraid I wouldn't be able to discuss my thoughts on the entirety of the set because, again, at the time of before I recorded this, we didn't have the entire core set. We didn't have all the cards. So, nonetheless, I'm glad we got to see everything from the set. I'm really hyped for this set. I think there's a lot of really interesting deck building stuff for this set. Revan, Kanan Jarrus, Morgan Elsbeth, the Kylo Ren, Snoke. I mean, there's a lot of really good stuff. There's a lot of good stuff for, like, older strategies. Like Piet's got a couple new capital class vessels he can run around with. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff you can really do in this set that will be very interesting to see. Just how the meta kind of wraps up around this set and kind of how they move forward. Because like we know, this is the 5th set. We only have one more set, Secrets of Power, which we will get in 2026. We will get in 2020. I suppose maybe before 2026. I'm not sure. We're getting this on July 11th. My guess is that probably Secrets of Power may be coming out around the holiday season. Let's see. We got JTL back in like I think March. I think March we got JTL. So like 3 months for the next set. So that would probably put us around. Yeah, that put us around like October, November, December. So around that time frame, we should be seeing. Like towards the end of the year, we should probably be seeing the 6th set Power. We should probably be seeing the 6th set, so that would be Power. Secrets of Power. We don't know what that set's going to contain. I would have to guess Secrets of Power would tell something like super lasers or mythic weapons throughout the history of Star Wars, like the Death Star, stuff like that. I'm not exactly sure what that's all going to entail. Again, that will be the last set before we rotate. So that means then March of 2026, we will begin rotation for the first rotation, which will again remove Sparkle Rebellion, Shadow of the Galaxy, and Twilight of the Republic. And we'll only have, again, at that point, we'll have Gentle Light Speed, Legend of the Force, Secrets of Power, and whatever the 7th set is. So we'll always have 6 sets in the rotation at any one time before we rotate the next 3 out. So any one time we'll have 6 sets. And again, no worries if you're someone who's concerned about your cards from the older sets. We have seen reprints in this set. Unfortunately, we didn't see Darth Vader or Luke Skywalker reprints. So we're not going to get reprints for those cards in this set. It would have been a good set to reprint the Darth Vader from Sparkle Rebellion and Luke Skywalker from Sparkle Rebellion. But again, don't sell your cards off. There is the expanded format that will be coming on March 26th. Which I think, I'm not exactly sure how they're going to balance that because, let's be a little honest, there's a lot of cards that break absolutely everything in this, that break leaders throughout all of it that have been like, we haven't seen anything with the new Boba, with the old Sparkle Rebellion Boba leader. Jango Fett will be back into it. We'll get DJ back for Han Solo. So, yeah, I don't know how they'll deal with expanded format balancing, but again, they may not even deal with expanded balancing. They may, because, I mean, Magic balances their formats. Commander, Popper, Modern, and Standard. They do balance them. So we'll just have to see what Fantasy Flight Games wants to do with their expanded format. I'm not sure if it's going to be tournament play or anything like that. But nonetheless, this set looks really cool. The set's got a lot of really neat cards. It's got a lot of different leaders to try out. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I really can't wait to see where how the meta wraps up with this set. I can't wait to start trying out these cards. It's hard to believe that right after I get back from Japan, it'll be time for pre-release of Sparkle for Legends of the Force, and then I will immediately be doing content creation for Legends of the Force. But yeah, let me know all your thoughts down in the comments, guys, on all of the Legends of the Force cards. Which cards are you most hyped for? Is it the KOTOR cards? Is it, say, Qui-Gon Jinn, Kanan Jarrus, Snoke? What cards are you really excited for older strategies? Piet's got a couple of new cards. I talked about maybe going back to the old Thrawn from Spark Rebellion has a couple cards he can manipulate with. I mean, all the Force stuff, guys. Are you going to try to build decks around just manipulating the Force? And all of that. Let me know all your thoughts on Legends of the Force. And while you're commenting, do make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you know if my videos go live for you. And we'll see you here next time on Mom Dragons TCG.